The McMurrays are hosting a fling with hopes to find others who'll swing. The Hicks try to conceive of the best way to leave because the lifestyle isn't really their thing.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we're once again hanging out at the produce stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show, Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one is a member of the lifestyle. Anyway, I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online we have Squirrely Matt.
Oh God!
Oh, God.
Did it take you that long to get it, or you're laughing at me?
I was. You want me to answer?
No, don't answer.
Good start, guys.
Yeah, here we go.
Gosh.
Online we have Squirrely Matt, the vague Victor, and joining us this week, he's a member and frequent contributor to the Produce Stand Twitter DM group. He's a model train enthusiast. He's Victor approved. He's also an avid camper, a ham radio enthusiast, and the proud, if not exhausted, father of triplets. He's also a patron of our podcast and a good guy. He's a really good guy. Please join me in making some noise for Joshua.
Wondrous.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wait.
Oh my God.
How are you now?
Good you.
Oh, not so bad.
All right, Joshua, where are you talking to us from?
At home here in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, very close to Letterkenny Township, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you want to explain that one?
Yeah, we actually have an Army depot here, U.S. Army depot called Letterkenny Army Depot, and it's in Letterkenny Township, Pennsylvania, literally 2 miles from my house.
That's crazy. Did you ever go in there and see if you can find any Hicks or Skids or hockey players?
I'm not sure I want to cross that fence.
So in your neck of the woods, if you had to choose Pittsburgh or Philadelphia as a hockey team to root for, which side are you leaning?
My family's all Pittsburgh. I have a former Pirate player in my family, so it has to be Pittsburgh.
Well, there you go.
Awesome. I mean, you're here tonight because you're one of our patrons, and we want to say thank you for supporting us that way. And first question I'd like to ask all of our guests, and you're only our second guest, but anyway, is how did you find Letterkenny? Like, what turned you on to the show?
It's the next township. Weren't you listening?
Well, it's going to be one of those.
I actually found one of the clips from one of the cold opens on Facebook, and that led me to dig for the show from there. And I've been watching it. I think that was around season 2 when I found that, and I've been watching it ever since. So
you're an early adopter.
Yeah,
cool. And when did you find out about this podcast?
Let's see. First time I listened to it, you were on your 4th episode, I believe. So
another early adopter. That's great. Well, well, thanks so much for being a listener, for being a patron, and I mean, you've been listening to us long enough to know that these things don't go smoothly here with us.
It's kind of our thing.
Best laid plans, right?
Yeah, exactly. Today's lineup is going to be Tanya, Al, Victor, Matt, and we will keep our guest, give him the last word. So,
how are you now,
Tanya? How's your week?
My week was long. My week was good. It was a PA day for the kids on Monday.
Ugh.
Not like that changes anything when you're living the same day over and over and over again.
It was literally Groundhog Day.
And it was Groundhog Day, right? So yeah, pretty good. I'm having my celebratory bottle of wine tonight. This is from my friends at work. So yeah, game on. Let's go.
Tanya finished a large project that she was working on with some clients from a U.S. city I won't name. And she's had this bottle now for a few months, waiting to open it
since June.
Yeah, because
last year.
Waiting for the project to be finished so she can celebrate.
My install day
and
last day
of install today. So congratulations on your successful project.
Make sure you crush that whole bottle throughout the show.
Oh, she's gonna. Let's see. My week's been busy with work. And having fun, seeing our numbers go up thanks to Mr. K. Trevor Wilson's
specifically
interview.
Not the COVID numbers.
No, not the COVID numbers.
Those are going down.
Yeah, those are going down, thankfully. Actually, they just announced that school's going to reopen in a couple of weeks. Not sure whether we'll be sending the kids back quite yet, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But at least things are trending in the right direction. But yeah. The K. Trevor Wilson interview dropped on Monday, and downloads have gone up. And K. Trevor was nice enough to like and share the clips that we've shared. And actually, I think Tyler Johnston did as well. So that's great. Like, I think we're getting a little bit of momentum here, and I'm working hard on getting another guest. Hopefully soon I can announce something. So yeah, things are going great, and I've been looking forward to today's episode. Victor?
Yeah, not much happens, right? So you really have to hold on to little things.
Yeah.
So I got a new locomotive book, so that was fun. And that's not even supposed to be a joke.
No.
Everyone else it is, Victor.
Except for Joshua, he shares your love of locomotives. So
yeah, what I love about the book, what I appreciate about it, is that it covers all locomotives from all over the world, not just typically the American locomotives, which is typically what you get. So I'm really enjoying that one. And the other thing is,
so it's a training manual.
Ha ha ha.
Oh, come on, guys. You need to be unmuted. You need to. Okay. Now, hold on.
Total dad joke there.
I know.
Terrible.
I will admit that was a dad joke.
Terrible.
But I'm going to ask both Josh and Matt not to be muted, because I want to hear, even if it's a groan, I want to hear reactions.
So in all to be fair, I muted it because there was other noise in around the room with me for a moment, so I was saving you all. But don't worry, I'll make sure that you hear every grunt, moan, and whatever sound I make.
Oh dear.
So very quickly. So the other thing that was fun and slightly related to this week's episode, Lynn and I started watching a new show as just while we're waiting for some better shows to come along.
Mm-hmm.
So we found You're the Worst on FX. So yeah, you know what? It's not bad. I'm not going to go out and start recommending it to everybody. It's a good bridge to kind of cross to while you're waiting to get to the other side again.
All right, because you have a reputation to uphold there.
For sure. So I'm not going to be too quick to recommend it, but we're enjoying it. But what's fun is that we watched an episode right after watching this week's Letterkenny episode, so there's a bit of a connection there.
Oh, okay.
And so when we get into the episode, I'll call back to it.
Awesome.
I have to tack on to my friend Victor here. Victor, I learned something new about locomotives today, and it's kind of a stretch for it. But I wanted to let you know that I was thinking of you. So I found out today that Sears catalog used to offer a house making kit that came in a crate and was delivered via locomotive in the 1904.
Via, but anyway.
1904 to 19 something. Anyways, it was a big thing, and you could buy these houses, and they came in kits, and it had everything, like down to the screw and the plumbing, and it was all the contributing factor was because the locomotive was created, and it made doing this. And anyways, it was an interesting read and new thing I learned today. There you go.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome. Linda and I were just talking about something like that today, where it wouldn't be fun to live in a bus that's converted into a house that you can drive anywhere. And I said, "Isn't that a Winnebago?" And she said,
"A Winnebago."
And she said, "No, this is different because you're building it yourself. You're converting a bus into it." And so this just a loose connection to this, that you're kind of building a makeshift house. And I guess you're saying the connection is that this was possible due to the fact that they had locomotives.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of homes out east, in
lots of homes,
Eastern Canada, I guess, that were built from these kits that were mail ordered from Sears. And they're like
a Sears catalog,
still standing.
And you can actually give it a Google, and there's YouTube videos of people in these houses and information about the houses. And yeah, you would look on a catalog. So it kind of put us down a rabbit hole, because one of the houses that our son Owen picked, it was $1,200. So we were trying to figure out how much would that be equivalent to. In this day and age. But yeah, he's like, oh, I've got enough money, I'm going to buy one of those. I'm like, yeah, that's not possible.
Well, I guess that's still technically happening, right? Because locomotives or trains are still delivering lumber to various lumber houses, and lumber is a huge industry. So I guess they're not fun kits anymore, but nothing has really changed.
IKEA has nothing on Sears. They're delivering you entire freaking houses. Matt, how's your week?
I mean, I'm with Vic. I mean, it's funny. These weeks all just kind of blend together. There's not a whole lot happening with these stay-at-home orders and whatnot. But I'm going to tell a really quick story that happened today, and I guarantee it's not going to sound as funny as it was in the moment. But so we have little Moose, right? It's almost 10 weeks. Yeah, the dog, and it's almost 10 weeks old now. So today, my wife says she wanted me to take a picture of her with him, right? And I mean, anyone who's got kids or animals or has ever tried to take pictures of kids or animals, the chaos that happens around this scenario, trying to get them to look at the goddamn camera. So, but you never anticipate that the adults are going to contribute to the problem, right? So this is kind of what happened. So I've got my iPhone in my hand. I've got a squeaky toy above the camera, and I'm taking pictures of Jen and Moose. And I'm getting Moose to look at the damn camera, and then I'm taking a picture, and I look, and Jen's like looking at the ceiling, and I'm like, so I look at the photo, I'm like, what the hell are you looking? You shoot the camera. I'm like, you're not. So we try it again and take the pic. Still, I'm like, where the fuck are you looking? She's like, at the camera. I'm like, hold on. So as I go to take the third photo and I squeak the toy, I realize she's looking at the squeaky toy.
Oh boy.
Not the camera. So she's being drawn to the damn toy. I'm like, stop looking at the toy. She's like, oh my God, I am. And this was.
Okay, I thought Jen was a smart woman.
So I chalk it up to the fact that we're both pretty tired and it's been a rough few weeks, but man, I kid you, this was one of those laugh until you cry moments. We were both like in hysterics once we put it together, what was going on. But I'm going to wrap up my week with that.
Matt, she's supposed to bring it to her level, not the other way around.
That's funny.
You guys didn't mention the shady meet we had in the Bass Pro parking lot on Saturday. Wasn't that this Saturday? It feels like so long ago. Yes, there you go.
Oh, yes. I thought you said the shady meat. And I'm thinking, what shady meat?
Was the questionable meat that you were consuming?
I got both of the shady trade items in front of me right now.
Yeah.
Hey, you need to decode that for the rest of us.
Well, I tweeted about it. We met up in the Bass Pro parking lot, halfway between where they are and where we live, to make the exchange. We got our vinyl pop figures, and we took pictures and posted those. So that was fun, and it was just really nice to get out of the house and drive that far. I haven't driven that far. And see people. I haven't driven that far in months, and that's like half my usual commute. So anyway, Joshua, how's your week?
Oh, not too bad. Spent Monday night clearing some snow out of the way.
Oh yeah, you guys got hit pretty good, eh?
Yeah, we got about 18 inches of snow here. By the time it was all said and done on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. We didn't get any.
Yeah, we got nothing.
We got zero.
Wow. And we're further north.
About 3.5 hours out clearing off our driveway and the neighbor's driveway, and spent a little bit of time Tuesday after I was done working. Worked from home both days, so that wasn't too bad. But
do you have a snowblower, or is this all manual?
I have a four-wheeler with a plow.
Ah, perfect.
Nice.
But if it's more than a foot, it's kind of pushing it. It's a struggle to push it all out of the way, especially when it's a wet, heavy snow like this was.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But we got it. Only got stuck a handful of times.
Yeah, well, good. I mean, we didn't get any. I don't know if we're getting some tonight, but it's been bone dry here. And actually, we had quite a nice day today, sunny and plus 3 degrees Celsius. It was we went out for a walk.
Spring.
It was nice.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable time when I took the garbage out to the curb.
So, Joshua, you're not our own only patron, and I'd like to welcome our newest patron, actually, Kristen. Not Kristen. Holy,
Crystal.
I'm having a really difficult time
Are
speaking.
you tired, Al?
I must be. Damn you. We'd like to welcome our newest patron, Crystal. Crystal, thank you so much for your support. We're looking forward to having you on the podcast one day. If anyone else would like to support us, the simplest and cheapest way is to leave us an iTunes rating or review. That helps others find our podcast. But if you want to be cool like Crystal and Joshua here, you can become a patron. Our Patreon link is on our website and our Twitter profile. And speaking of support, we have 42 new Twitter followers, despite Matt's best
I tried
efforts.
so hard. I am clearly not an influencer.
Okay, 42 is a pretty good number. So here we go.
It's an excellent number.
It's a great number. Rondelay, Jim Jamaru, Sean Kelleher from Saratoga, LB from Idaho, Sean from Cleveland, Hendricks, Muhammad Fahad, Baseball is Life, Brad, O'Brien J from Ireland, Joseph Dilworth Jr., Dean Pickering from Central Alberta, Todd Pelham from Lenexa, Kansas, Tennessee from Indian Head, Maryland, not from Tennessee, David Howlett Jr. from Dundalk, Maryland, Shorzy, from the Letterkenny bathroom, or the Letterkenny Irish bathroom. Sorry, Jones, Shorzy, I just messed up your joke there. Mike Parkin at Londa Loves Life from Sequoia, Oklahoma, Punisher Pool, Analog Bear from New York, Andy Waddell, Aaron Carney from Maple Grove, Minnesota. The Champ is here from Massachusetts.
Nice.
Hey, good for you.
Hey.
There you go. I've been working on that all week. The Unknown Critic, former Trump supporter, the three-eyed naked mole rat from Worst, Wisconsin. That's not a real place. I looked it up. John Evans, Justin C. Ray, Tory for WVU. I believe that's West Virginia University. Max Morin from Toronto. P1 and Done from San Antonio. Fall Guy, from Bay Area. Chris from Blaine, Minnesota. Grogu Protector Corp from the captain's chair on Slave One. I don't know. Johnny Zoo. Adrian B.O. from South Portland. E-Lizard. JD Spratt from Taunton, Massachusetts again. Dre from Michigan.
You've really been practicing.
I know, it's great. HP is Sixth House for Life from the land of maple syrup. I'm guessing that's Canada. And Ballpark Nerd. Thank you guys for the follow and hopefully for listening.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed episode 4 of season 4 Letterkenny Talent Show with our special guest Eliza. That episode got a fresh rating from all of us, making it the third straight unicorn. And according to our scientific Twitter poll, 75% of you agreed with us and 25% gave the episode a clearance. This week, we recap and review episode 5 of season 4, The Letterkenny Leave. Tanya, have you done your homework?
Yes, I have.
I've done my homework. Victor, have you done your homework?
I did.
And Matt, have you done your homework?
Better patter.
And Joshua, did you do your homework?
Multiple times.
Awesome. Here we go. He's going without notes, folks, without a net. We start with we start with our cold open. The McMurrays have invited the Hicks over for a party. Wayne takes a soft pass on it. He says Rosie's going to scooch on over, watch a little TV, and Bob's your uncle. But the others remind him that he's in a long-term relationship now, and as such, he's obliged to partake in some social stimulations from time to time, lest the young lady becomes restless.
Oh, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, bud.
Sure, but you can't just watch TV and have sex every night, Wayne.
Sometimes Netflix and chill just ain't enough.
Young lady deserves more than just Amazon Primes and sexy times.
YouTube and lube isn't gonna cut it.
Can't just stream it and cream it, bud.
There's more to life than a little Hulu and you screw, big brother. Gotta step out of your comfort zone.
No, there's not a goddamn thing wrong with a little PlayStation View and I service you. Not a goddamn thing.
Little project-free TV and you service me.
Little Pirate Bay with some sexual spray.
Couple of torrent sites, minus the bed light.
I'll be a little satellite and an overnight.
Little satellite and tickle fight.
Invite a friend over for direct TV and a menage a three.
You know, there's more to life than a little HBO and a go, big brother. You gotta step out of your comfort zone.
Wayne's pretty sure it's called the comfort zone because everything inside that zone is good and comfy. And once you get outside that comfort zone, well, that's when things get a bit dicey. And cue the intro music. All right. Tanya, what did you think of that cold open?
I thought it was hilarious. I disagree though with them because I don't know about everyone else in the world, but all of those shows, they just repeat on their own. And then you never go to bed until like 4 o'clock in the morning. And then you're freaking exhausted. And then you sleep until 11. So I don't know where they're getting the kinky time in, but yeah. It's a
I think
hard
the
one.
key is to get it in out of the way before you start.
Is that the key?
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, I think this is a generational thing, right? Because if you
there's no commercials. There's no.
No, what you said, it sounds like a good idea if you're, a newlywed or if you don't have kids and stuff like that. But no, when you've got kids, you have there's just not that it's a whole different situation.
You guys are just doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Our kids are well trained on a Saturday morning. They don't dare wake mom and dad up. They
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
We're talking about Netflix and chill here.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm.
Netflix and chill.
No, I mean like the next day. Like you fall asleep watching Netflix, and then the next day.
Yeah, but that's I'm agreeing with Tanya that what they're describing is not.
Alan needs some more sleep, obviously.
Apparently.
Yeah, well, welcome to the show. Anyway, Tanya, I agree with you.
We're too old for this episode.
So, Victor, it wasn't your turn, but fine. You're embarrassing us in front of the guests, Victor.
Oh gosh.
Fun cold open. It was funny. It was. It wasn't the best, but it was amusing. There was one streaming service that was noticeably left out of that open. Thankfully, later on it gets called back. But when I first watched this, I'm like, that's interesting. They didn't say anything about Crave, and that's their streaming service. So that's But anyway, there's a call back to that.
But their thing is always calling back at the very end.
Yeah,
that's the routine.
Yeah. And it's fun. It set up the episode, and I really like that part just before the music starts when Rain talks about being in the comfort zone and everything, and it's good and comfy until you step out of that comfort zone, which kind of is the foreshadowing for what happens in the rest of the episode. So overall, it was pretty well written. Not the most clever, but solid. Now, Victor, do you want to add to anything you had to say about it?
No, I have nothing to add. I agree. I agree that there was some fun innuendos in there, and it was written well enough, and they delivered it. My favorite always is Squirrely Dan, so I love his Menage a Three.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was good, but not like the best, not award winning.
Yeah, Matt.
I appreciate that they gave a whole bunch of other places on the internet some love. Netflix and chill is really all you ever hear, but you know, that's not all everyone uses. And there was a couple I caught in there, even the Pirate Bay and Spray. Those ones took me back a bit, and there was some clever stuff in there. There's one or two that I hadn't heard of as well.
A couple of them were also stretches. They stretched a little too far for that one, but yeah.
The YouTube and lube. I mean, even that one, I'm like, I don't know who watches YouTube. Like my kids watch YouTube, but that's not what's going on.
No. Or you hoped it's not what's going on.
Yeah, fuck, right? But no, it's like, but yeah, it was it was clever. It was fun. It wasn't the best one, but I got a kick out of it.
Joshua?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I do have to agree with Tanya and Victor there. That just doesn't, I don't think it applies anymore. You hit a certain age, kids come along, and it's just throw it out the window. I'm tired. I'm taking my ass to bed. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah. Spoken like the father of triplets.
I'm exhausted. Oh, God.
Once a certain time hits, it's or sleep.
Yeah, that was about 2 hours ago.
Oh no, we're keeping you up. Sorry. All right,
no worries.
All right, first scene, shot of a table loaded with all sorts of food. Every dish represents some sort of sexual innuendo, like a bowl of peaches and a bowl of cherries, oysters, and creamed asparagus, and so on. Even the salt and pepper shakers are either phallic or mushroom shaped.
Oh shit, I missed that.
The McMurrays are in the kitchen mixing drinks, wearing nothing but skimpy bathing suits and silk robes. The Hicks arrive. They immediately immediately look uncomfortable. Wayne and McMurray do their usual greeting thing where they are interrupting each other. Mrs. McMurray asks where Rosie is, and Wayne says she's reading a book. McMurray invites them to make themselves at home. The beer is cold and frozen, and they have frozen margarita mix.
Oh, yeah? You got blueberry, avocado, passion fruit margs?
We got agave prickly pear marg mix.
Colada mix, too.
You got kiwi fruit, cucumber, jalapeno, pina colada.
We got charred orange, ruby red, grapefruit, pomegranate, pina coladas.
Even got daiquiri mix, too.
Oh, you got whole citrus hungry gal magic local daiquiris?
We got smoky watermelon, michelada, aqua velva, aqua fresca, super duper, super sipper daiquiris.
Good enough.
Daiquiris? Mrs. McMurray responds with, whatever you're into, that's what I always say. McMurray has a shit ton of super fun shit planned for the day. He got a brand new karaoke machine down at the swap meet. It's only got Chinese songs, but it works just fine. McMurray goes over the house rules. Rule number 1 is you must have fun. And that's the only rule. Mrs. McMurray says she hopes they remember to bring their swim trunks. Just then you can hear Glenn's voice calling up from the hot tub room to come down and to not be shy. Glenn's already in the tub with Gail. The Hicks have all forgotten, quote unquote, to bring their swim trunks, but not to worry. The McMurrays have a whole bunch of extra swim trunks in the closet, so no fucking excuses. Next scene, everyone's in the hot tub except for Wayne, who's out having a dart. McMurray thought Wayne would like a good tub. Who doesn't like a good tub? Katie says it says if you spend too much time in the water, you end up looking like a golden raisin. Gail says she's just brushed up against a couple of golden raisins as she looks selectively at Glenn. McMurray suggests they play a game of Never Have I Ever. The Hicks have never played. It's a drinking game the McMurrays learned down in Dominican. They go down to Dominican twice a year, which still isn't often enough for them. They used to go down to Polko, but stopped going when fellas started getting hung from bridges with their dicks cut off. McMurray lays down the rules for the game.
So, how it works is this. You say, never have I ever done such and such a titillating and or embarrassing act, and if you've done it, you drink it. Get it?
Got it.
Mrs. McMurray starts with, never have I ever made whoopee with more than one person at a time. The McMurrays are the only ones who drink. And I noticed that Katie should have drank to that one too. But anyway, next is McMurray. Never have I ever had strong sexual urges toward another spouse, significant other, or sibling, as he stares intently at Katie. Glenn finds that one very specific. Katie shouts out to Wayne asking how his beer is, and Wayne says he'd have another. So Katie jumps out of the tub to get him a beer. Next scene, Riley and Jonesy are at the gym working out and posing in front of a mirror. Riley thinks they may have plateaued. He's not seen any gains. Neither of them have seen any gains all year, and they need to make some serious gains for next season. If you don't see any gains, you see excuses, and they can't be those guys. They need a surge of gains. Conseco or Sammy Sosa gains, but at what cost? The cost of juicing? Riley suggests they try half a cycle. Jonesy thinks they should just dig deep and bear down.
Or
Roger Clemens, buddy.
Hey.
What?
All-star pitcher, buddy.
Tarnished reputation, buddy.
Hey.
What?
Starting pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, buddy.
Just a half cycle?
Just a quick half cycle. Push through the plateau, kickstart the muscle fibers, go cold turkey before the season starts, buddy.
Cold turkey?
Cold turkey.
Au naturel.
Au naturel.
Natural.
Au naturel.
Jonesy wonders where they're going to get the steroids. Riley knows just the place. I have to pause for a second here to let Tanya comment on maybe the scene.
Well, there was a few actually, a few scenes. I had my glasses moved during the one scene with the McMurrays at the beginning, and then I quickly realized that it was a visual that I needed to partake in, and had to have Alan rewind and play that one again, because there was a whole lot of things on that table. Was there croissants even? I don't even know what the heck was on that thing. Anyways, and then Riley and Jonesy, oh my God, him getting his shorts up into the crease of his arse and showing his butt cheeks. It was I just was laughing so hard.
Tanya was distracted by the butt this time, not the
yes.
D.
And it was long. It was there forever.
Yeah.
But actually, they kept on changing the screenshot. So his ass cheeks would be out in one shot and then back in again and then back out again. So it kept on flipping and flopping back.
You're bad.
I was paying a lot of attention.
Yeah, wow. Next scene, Wayne is outside on the McMurray's porch having a smoke and a beer. Tanis shows up. She asks Wayne where the party's at. Wayne answers in the basement. Says she'll need a swimsuit. Tanis didn't bring one. Wayne says they'll get her one.
You know what the McMurrays are up to, right?
I have an inkling.
And you don't mind leaving your girl down there with them?
She didn't make the trek.
Reading?
Can confirm.
Doesn't that make you think she up to something?
Makes me think it must be a pretty good book. Must be like Carrie.
Well, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Hmm?
The rats, too, apparently.
You're dirty, huh? All right. I'm gonna go home. I just came here for you, boo.
Before Tanis leaves, she tells Wayne they've got a really big library at the res too. If he's really into the nerdy girls, she can show her spine label if he shows her his hardcover. And with a flick of Wayne's crotch, Tanis leaves the party. It's at that point where Katie calls out to Wayne asking if he needed another beer, and Wayne obliges. I'd have a beer. Next scene, back in the hot tub, Squirrely Dan is uncomfortably sitting between the McMurrays. Mrs. McMurray asks Derry and Squirrely Dan how they feel about having adventures. Derry isn't against it. McMurray follows up by asking how they feel about trying new things. Squirrely Dan responds, like I always says, variety is a spice of life. The McMurrays couldn't agree more. Derry is still oblivious to what's going on. He goes on to talk about how he tried cinnamon chewing gum for the first time, and while it was a bit spicy for his taste, he can't say he didn't like it. Mrs. McMurray starts to play footsies with Derry, and Derry yells out to Katie about another beer and leaves the hot tub. Glenn drops an olive in the hot tub, and Gail goes digging for it. Out on the porch, Wayne, Katie, and Derry think maybe it's time to get going, but they're not sure how they'll be able to leave.
Guess what?
What?
This may very well call for the old Irish goodbye.
What's the Irish goodbye?
Well, that's when you leave without saying goodbye to anyone.
Also known as the French exit or Houdini.
Thought the French exit was when you climax on a gal and you leave without cleaning it up.
It's almost not worth thinking about, Derry.
Technically, a French exit is when you leave without paying the bill, but in this case, that is not applicable.
Guess what?
What?
This very well may call for the old Turkish takeoff.
What's Turkish takeoff?
That's when you pull a fire alarm, leave with a stranger.
Guess what?
What?
This very well may call for the old Tokyo sayonara.
What's Tokyo sayonara?
Well, that's when you leave, but you only say goodbye to the cat.
Maybe this calls for... No!
What?
Maybe this calls for the Letterkenny Leave.
No.
Letterkenny Leave?
That's when you steal a 2-4 and walk through a sliding glass door.
Well, desperate times.
Desperate measures.
I'm wondering if they mean an open sliding glass door or like a closed one.
Break the door. That's what I pictured.
Just barrel through the glass.
When he said that, I visualized definitely a glass door that you're breaking.
Yeah,
I thought so too.
You're walking through.
Okay.
Using the 2-4 as leverage.
Yeah, we all agree then. All right. By the way, Joshua, do you know what a 2-4 is?
I'm assuming I thought when I heard it, I thought 2x4, the board.
No,
Not the lumber.
So I was wondering about that. So no, 2-4 is a 24 case of beer.
That's our units of beer.
Yeah,
that's our units.
So it's a case. It's what Canadians call a case of beer. So yeah, I wasn't wondering.
I'm not a beer drinker. So,
okay.
Fair enough.
But when I heard it, I'm wondering if that's a Canadian thing or if
I've heard it before. It just it didn't register here. So
yeah.
So that scene was the connection that I was talking about earlier. So we were watching that show, You're the Worst. By the way, the main actress in that show, Al, she is the new villain in The Boys. You know, that Nazi villain? What's her name?
Oh, yeah.
So that's the main actress.
Oh, cool.
You're the Worst. Anyway, so we're just watching the show, and we were watching this after watching this Letterkenny episode, and there's a scene, and the guy, I don't even remember anything who said it, but they said, "I think I'm going to do the Irish goodbye," and I wouldn't have known what the hell they're talking about had I not just watched the Letterkenny episode. So there you go. It's very educational sometimes.
I'm notorious for that one.
The Irish goodbye.
The Irish goodbye.
Which one's that one again?
Just disappear.
Yeah, leave without saying anything. And
I've done it. Yeah,
we find
I've
out
had people actually go hunting for me before, and then realize that I just went home.
Yeah, we find out in season 9 that Coach is a fan of the French goodbye or the French leave or the French goodbye.
Is that where you say goodbye to the cat?
No, that's a sayonara. Anyway, I won't.
Is that the one where they leave the girl a mess?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh.
I won't go any further with that. That's a little Easter egg for anybody who's already watched season 9. All right.
Ick.
Wayne doesn't think they're just yet about leaving, but they'll continue to monitor the situation. The McMurrays come up to mix some more drinks, and Squirrely Dan comes out for a dart.
Squirrely Dan.
Wayne.
Has it occurred to you that those two may be members of the lifestyle?
Like the agricultural management lifestyle? Well, sure they are.
No, Dan. The lifestyle.
Like the livestock management lifestyle. Of course they are.
No, Daniel.
The lifestyle.
Oh, the dairy farming lifestyle. You guys know they are.
Squirrely Dan.
Mm-hmm.
The lifestyle.
No, I'm not too sure what you're driving at here, big shooter.
I actually cut that pause at least in half because it was such a long pause, but it was.
I don't even drop a Daniel in there. Like really trying to get his attention.
I was waiting for him to start blinking. Like, blink.
That's Wayne's move.
Wayne's move.
Yeah. Stewart gives. Oh, here we go. Next scene. Oh, sorry, I missed a part there. Just then, McMurray comes out, followed by Mrs. McMurray, and asks if anyone wants to play Pass the Banana. Next scene. Riley and Jonesy are paying the Skids a visit, looking for some banned substances.
So what'll it be, Jeff and Russ Cordnell? You into nose beers? The Booker Sugar? The Chingy? The Cola?
No.
Oh, then what will it be, Wayne and Keith Primo? You into ecstasy?
The Rosy Posies.
The bean? The disco biscuits?
No.
Do not tell me you've come here looking for pot.
No, we're looking for some
Juice. Huh?
sauce.
Huh?
Gear?
Huh?
Steroids.
Ah! A-bombs.
Anti-hero.
Gym candy. Why didn't you say so?
I love how outraged they are at the idea that they might be there to get pot. Like, you actually come here looking for pot? Stewart gives them some edibles and then begins to poke fun at Riley and Jonesy, who insist they're just in it for one cycle, or for half a cycle. Stewart doesn't think so. He insists they're going to ride that juice train all the way to the end of the line. Riley and Jonesy insist they're only using them temporarily to see some gains, and then they'll stop before the beginning of the season. This gets a famous last words from Stewart. He goes on to talk about side effects like back knee, shrunken testicles, roid rage. This gives the jocks some pause. They begin to second guess their decision. Stewart senses he may be losing the sale, so he changes his tune and reassures Riley and Jonesy that they should be good. So Riley and Jonesy buy the drugs. Next scene, back at the McMurrays hot tub. Now all who are left are Squirrely Dan, Glenn, and Gail. McMurray tells Squirrely Dan about their friend Juan Jorge, Juan Jorge, whom they met down in Minikin, a bird watcher, or a birder, as they prefer to be called.
Anyways, one day, in a hot tub not unlike this one, Juan Jorge first told me about the common cuckoobird. The cuckoobird has a peculiar habit of laying its eggs in another bird's nest.
Well, that is a peculiar habit.
And it is from this peculiar habit that we get the English term cockle.
Huh.
You familiar with that term, Squirrely Dan?
I believe I have heard in passings, yes.
Juan Jorge believes cuckoldry to be the purest and highest forms of sexual arousal.
This Juan Jorge sounds like a real interesting phallus.
You better believe it. That's all I know.
You better believe it.
You better believe it.
In fact, according to Juan Jorge, only the sweet, sweet agony and pure psychological torment of watching a physically superior man pleasure his beloved wife is enough to truly excite him.
Just look at this big old paw of yours, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that cocksucker, baby.
See, now, most people think it's just about one fella sleeping with another fella's wife. But no, Juan Jorge believes and explains that in such an arrangement that the real and true emotional connection is in fact between the bull and the cuckoo bird, so to speak.
Huh. Daryl, how's your beer?
And Squirrely Dan hastily exits the hot tub. Next scene, all the Hicks, including Squirrely Dan, are now on McMurray's porch smoking. Squirrely Dan suggests maybe it's time to pull a Brexit. Wayne thinks they should pull a Singapore scram. That's when you grab onto a rope ladder and have a helicopter fly you out. They're interrupted by the McMurrays. No one's flying anywhere. It's karaoke time. Next scene, back at Skid's lair, a schoolgirl is trying to buy some Ritalin to help her study. They gave her the drugs, but it seems there was a mix-up. She got the steroids, which means Riley and Jonesy got Ritz, not roids. Next scene, cut to the gym. Riley and Jonesy are getting ready to start their workout. They seem a little high-strung, but also hyper-focused.
Focus is?
Traps and tries, buddy.
Traps and tries, bro.
We should be ripping sandbell slammers.
We should be ripping kettlebell sumo deadlifts.
We should be ripping standing V-bar pushdowns.
We should be ripping cable hammer curls with rope attachments.
We should be ripping closed grip easy bar curls with band.
We should be ripping standing dumbbell reverse spider curls.
We should be ripping 2-arm barbell wide grip preacher curls.
And like Arnold, buddy.
They begin their workout, but quickly stop. They're not sure what's going on, but they don't feel like working out. So they decide that maybe they should try a full cycle of steroids. Cut to Riley and Jonesy a few moments later at a blackboard where they've drawn out their entire workout, complete with complex diagrams and equations, and what can only be described as a scene out of a beautiful mind.
So if we rip 10 supersets at a rate of 10 every 15 minutes.
How many reps per supersets, buddy?
20 reps per superset.
Make that 30.
Done, buddy.
Now double it.
If we rip 60 reps per superset at a rate of 10 every 15 minutes, that means we need to rip 16 and a half more half cycles before the next season starts, buddy.
Can't let coach down, buddy.
Not an option, buddy.
It's beautiful. We're gonna need a bigger blackboard.
Couple of gym snipes interrupt Riley and Jonesy. They notice the Ritalin bottles in their gym bags. They question, does Ritalin help get big gains? Ritz, not roids? Riley and Jonesy realize what's happened, and they decide that perhaps they should just focus on natural gains. Next scene, back at the McMurrays. McMurray and wife are singing a Chinese song on the karaoke as Glenn and Gail watch. They seem to be enjoying the show. The song ends, and Mrs. McMurray tries to get down to business, but Gail has some ground rules.
I have a few ground rules I'd like to cover.
Pertaining to?
Shoot.
No open mouth kissing on the mouth.
Pardon?
Observed.
Figging and cupping and light electro play are all on the table. But I do have soft limits on canine role play and mummification.
Excuse me?
Observed.
No tushy play unless I ask for it, and I will ask for it.
What? Observed.
Now, once we get started, it is recommended that you do not look me directly in the eye.
Safe word.
Close, Glenn, but my safe word is...
Once again? Oh my! Y'all are polyamorous.
Bingo.
Just by being in wedlock. Oh, that's a sin. I'm gonna have to skedaddle. Tokyo sayonara for me. Where's that kitty?
Couple of things. I love how Gail starts removing her earrings when she's telling them not to look her directly in the eyes.
She's all in at that point.
She's all in. Yeah, it's such a great scene. All right, next scene. The Hicks are back at the produce stand.
Squarely down.
Uh-huh.
So now do you see what we mean by the lifestyle?
Yep.
Never thought the McMurrays would be a swinging tape.
I could have told you that before we got over there, bud.
Nobody ever wants to thunk it.
Pretty near everyone in town thunk it. Why do you think Rosie stayed home to read?
It must be a pretty good book. Must be like The Boy at the Leafs Camp.
It seems so normal.
Do they?
They waltzed among us, undetected.
Oh, I say live and let live.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, to each his and hers own. Am I right?
Sure. But you know what? It sure is nice to be back in the comfort zone.
Then Wayne gets a phone call. It's Rosie. She offers Wayne a little crave and misbehave, which gets a hard yes from Wayne, and we fade to black. All right. Initial thoughts. Tanya, you're up.
I thought it was hilarious, the whole pharmacy side effect that the skids went through. It was pure. It was very funny. It was very funny. And Mrs. Murray. So here's the thing that I was thinking of. Mrs. McMurray and Katie, didn't they have a
Yes.
roll in the hay at the egg hall in the bathroom?
Yeah,
Allegedly.
Well, yeah, it's heavily yeah.
But if I recall correctly,
strongly suggested, yes.
Mr. McMurray was told that she's gone MIA and he went in looking for her. So why wouldn't they have, if they have an open marriage? I'm guessing they're married.
No, but he likes watching.
Oh, so is that
By the way, you're still allowed to. There's still such a concept as cheating, even in an open or swinging relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
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 That's the word you're missing there.
Very revealing, Victor.
That's a conversation for another podcast.
By the way, apropos of anything, of nothing, but my safe word is rutabaga. Anyway,
that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so Gail's whole ground rules and her safe word, and so my brother-in-law, he's like, because anyways, there was a bit of a story, but anyways, I had marks on my neck from a dress that I had on, and he says, okay, just remember the safe word is rutabaga, because even with your mouth full, it will come out correctly. Whoa, burger. And he's like, and I'm like, oh my God, I laughed so hard. He's like, even with your mouth full, that's good. So yeah, I had to say that too. So that's it. It was a good episode. It was fun. I laughed out loud, even though I tried to keep my poker face in front of you.
Yeah, no, you broke a few times.
I broke a few times. I had to. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was great fun.
Yes, I agree. It was a lot of fun. We talked about the cold open. It was great. And it was a nice setup for the rest of the episode. We got to learn more about, there's character development here. We got to learn way more about the McMurrays than maybe we wanted to. Again, one of these episodes where all the factions are kind of in it. In this one, it's the Skids and the Jocks are in one storyline, and the Hicks are in the other storyline. But there's still commingling going on there. Pun intended, with Glenn and with Gail too. Lots of Glenn in this episode, so I'm sure that'll make Victor happy. Overall, there wasn't very few jokes didn't land with me in this one. There's a lot of funny stuff in this, and it was all very enjoyable. Maybe not the deepest or most most important episode they've had, but it's definitely one of the more fun ones that they've had for sure. Victor?
Yeah, so definitely lots of funny moments. I loved Glenn's parts. Well, wait a second. I loved I loved all the scenes with the olives. I thought that was hilarious. Let me
he's so funny.
Pedal on that one. But so that was good. But overall, for me, the episode was a bit of a filler. We learned a bit about the McMurrays, yes, but I don't feel like there was, and not that there has to be. This is just like, for me, this felt like a filler episode. Nothing really happened. It was like, we're invited to dinner, and some mischievous things happen at dinner, and then the episode is over. But I don't think that it did anything to the overall storyline. But just first impression, I'll just leave it there. That it's for me, it was a filler episode.
All right, Matt.
I'll actually agree with Victor on this one for the most part. It was there were some good moments, some good laughs, and actually, what I've said this before. Listening back to the clips in this setting, I hear a lot more than I do when I'm just sitting watching the show. And because there's distractions, the dogs running around, kids running around, something. I try to focus, but I hear it more. So I definitely laughed even more listening to the playback of some of this stuff today. But no, there was definitely some great moments. I love the Ritalin scene, and their hyper focus on that. That cracked me right up. Gail, I thought shone in this episode. She was right in her element. Oh yeah, and even the discomfort with and Tan, you were right on, with Glenn and his discomfort and kind of navigating that whole scenario as well, and then this is what it is. And I thought there was a lot, they played to that scene really well to each of the characters. So I really enjoyed that. And then the one thing I thought was sort of strange with Tanis. I love Tanis, but I didn't understand. It was just a really quick throwaway moment. She appeared, quick chat, she was gone. I didn't think it was necessary. It was fine, but I didn't fully understand it.
It's setting up the future episodes for sure.
Maybe that's it.
If you're watching this for the first time and not without the benefit of knowing what's going to happen, you're right. That scene does seem kind of out of place. But I'm never going to complain that there's more Tanis. So again, I love Tanis. You're right. It felt out of place. And the episodes are so short, so things like that happen really quickly. And then you're like, wait, wasn't Tanis in this? No, she's gone. Okay. But it was fine. It was fine. Joshua?
I liked this episode. I thought it was hilarious. I do kind of agree. It did seem like it didn't really tie in with everything else, but I was okay with that because there was a lot of really good parts in this. just the disappointment on Mrs. McMurray's face when she found out Rosie wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone, and the interaction between Glenn and Gail, and the fact that Glenn seemed to be completely clueless to what was going on the whole time, even as Gail's retrieving his olives.
Yeah. It seems like Glenn is okay when when it seems incidental. He enjoys it. He has no problem showing that he's enjoying it if it's incidental. But as soon as it's overt, oh, this is what's going on. Oh, that's a sin. I gotta go.
Right. And I mean, even, just that part was hilarious. I like that. And with all of them talking about all the different ways to leave and everything, I thought that was pretty good. And the way they pulled in all the different streaming services and all of that too. I mean, it was just, I laughed almost the whole episode. And I know I was saying earlier here, I watched this episode at least a dozen times before tonight, with and without captions.
Yeah.
And I will say, if you watch it with captions, when they're in the hot tub and they're going through the Minikin and all that, they go through those captions so fast.
I know. Yeah.
That you can't keep up reading them. That's why I had to watch it multiple times.
You need those captions, especially when the McMurrays are speaking to each other, because Mrs. McMurray, she's such a good drunk. But half the time she's slurring through what she's saying, and if you don't have captions on, I don't know how anyone understands what she says if you're not reading it.
Yeah, and even listening to the way they rattled through all the different mixes they had too. That was and you always got to have that gin and tonic for Mrs. McMurray.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I had to. I definitely could not on that first take.
Yeah.
Had no idea what they were saying.
Yeah, no matter how loud you turn that volume up, it's just not understandable.
Yeah.
But all in all, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I mean, like I said, I laughed almost constantly through it.
All right, cool. All right, let's get some ratings then. Tanya, what would you give this episode? Fresh, clearance, or compost?
Rutabaga. It is definitely it's a fresh. It's a fresh. It made me laugh right out loud. I know you guys are right. There wasn't much of a story other than the McMurray. It was heavy on the McMurrays, heavy on the I guess a little bit with the gym, but I thought it was funny all the same. Like it really had some great moments in it, and that's my score.
Okay, I give this a fresh 2, and I don't understand what you guys are saying about it being light on story. I thought it was good story. It was good comedy. Lots of progression for the Skids, for Riley and Jonesy, for the Hicks, for the McMurrays. I thought there was plenty there to chew on. Funny episode, like lots of really funny moments. Shining moments for Glenn, shining moments for Gail, shining moments for McMurray. I thought he was great in it, like so awkward just in those bikini brief shorts of his, and just it's like you can't look away.
We haven't asked, has anyone been in that type of situation?
No.
And how do you get out of it?
Well, I
of course, you're the first one to speak up.
Well, I think I alluded to it. I alluded to it earlier in the episode, but that I don't want to say too much to spoil some fun for future episodes. But but there's definitely stories to be told.
Oh my.
Victor.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
The trains are out of
Allegedly.
the station.
So it's a fresh, and I'd be surprised if any of you guys gave it less than a fresh. But go on, Victor. Surprise me.
Yeah. So I do have to give it a clearance.
Oh my God. You know what? Okay, you've been spoiled. This season has been so exceptional. If this episode falls in any other season, any of the previous seasons, this would be an automatic fresh.
Yeah, good.
Why?
But when you raise the bar, these are the consequences you have to live with.
God.
This season, aside from one black mark, has been just absolutely an unstoppable fun train. Like it's been great from episode
including
one.
this episode.
And this episode was certainly fun. There were certainly, but I mean, I totally disagree with you on almost everything you said. All those, I mean,
give it to him.
I mean, there's no character, there's no meat in what Riley and Jonesy. They tried steroids. What kind of character development is that? It wasn't even steroids.
Hold on. They needed to show gains. Riley talks Jonesy into it. So Jonesy's showing that he's actually needing to be convinced to do this. Riley's the one who's talking him into it. So there's like these two guys who are usually like synonymous with each other. We see a little bit of difference in character there finally. And then in the end,
stretching, my friend.
And they still ended up on the same pathways.
Today we learned about peer pressure.
No, because you know what? Once they figured out that it was Ritalin and not steroids, they decided, you're right, we should just do this naturally. Like they had
but that was serendipitous. That wasn't, it is what it. Look, all I'm saying is that it was just another hokey thing for the episode.
Oh, I disagree. I think that was,
and it was a way for them and the skits to have that nice exchange, which was fun as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a little Russ Cordnell and Keith Primo in there. Nice. I appreciate that. But I don't know. I think saying that it's character development is, I don't know, it's maybe a bit of a stretch. And like the Tanis thing was, a little thrown in there. I guess the connection is, maybe she's testing Wayne and his lesions and whatnot. And, Wayne passed the test. Good for him. But I don't know. It was fun. All of it was fun. I just feel like when you stand this episode up against the rest of the season we've been gifted with so far, it's a clearance. It's a brilliant episode, and amongst just watching television, it's great. Great writing and stuff like that. All of those little paths they went on with the various exits and all that stuff. That's brilliant. That's pure gold. But as an episode, it doesn't hold water to the other four we've had so far. That's all.
Okay. I mean, whatever. I'm not going to change your mind, but I think you need to be judging these episodes all as standalones and not against each other. Because anyway, that's my opinion.
Hey,
all right. Yeah. Matt?
I need to be judging them the way I need to be judging them.
Okay, Matt?
There's no rules in the judging.
I got you, buddy.
Really?
So, yeah, and you know what?
Up is down right now.
Victor
I'm
and I don't normally agree this much, but
don't.
I think almost everything he said, I'm aligned with this time.
You're in a bad mood this week, aren't you?
It was the photo op disaster of today.
Okay.
But no, I mean it was fine. There was some good laughs, and I will say, and here's the even brutal truth to it all. When I watched it earlier, I think there was a bit of a distraction. I missed a lot of the jokes. I was actually coming into this at a compost.
Ooh.
Wow.
I was. I had a real hard time wrapping my head around it. I really just couldn't connect with the episode. Hearing it back and listening to a lot of clips over again, and this has brought me to a clearance, and that's where I'm at.
Wow.
But I don't think there was much I think they interpreted everyone exactly how we would have expected them to interpret people in this situation, right? I think they did a great job of it. There was really good jokes. I think the part I'm really torn about, maybe this is really intentional. This whole episode was uncomfortable, right? And they hey, see what I did there?
Yes, I see what you did there.
And they drew attention to it really early on about being in your comfort zone. So maybe that was part of my trouble connecting
Your
with it.
Discomfort with this episode.
I was. I'm like, this is just really awkward. And the McMurrays they drew on their awkwardness on every level, and it was so good. Especially listening back more and more. I mean, I actually feel bad that I came in with a combo thinking, actually hearing the clips now. But I'm with Victor. I don't think there's enough here to push me to a fresh because of what the caliber of the other ones have been. There wasn't a lot of movement for it. The fact that you said, Al, that the skids, there was character development there, you're out to lunch on that one. They were in it for a hot minute, and they were selling drugs. That's what they do. So there's no more development there. Riley and Jonesy, all right, you're stretching on it. I get what you're saying. Okay. But
that's not a stretch. That's character.
Listen, we learned what Riley's cheek looks like. That's what, that's...
Yeah, and that's all Tanya saw. That's where her fresh came from. It's a fresh ass. But so it was fun. It was in the end, it was a fun episode. I feel like I need to go back and watch it again.
It was fun.
Really
it was totally fun.
Give it a good look. Maybe by the dozenth time. Like Josh over here.
Anything that makes me laugh out loud is total. If it makes you laugh, you gotta give it a fresh.
Yeah. It's a comedy, people.
And I did, and I agree with you, but I didn't laugh through the whole thing.
That's the thing. That's what I don't get about Al, you, and Tanya is that I didn't laugh like you did throughout the
I thought it was
episode. There's funny moments, but I was looking back at Linda every now and then just to see, is she, still having fun? And she was, and that was the one. You know what? For me, I was between Compost and and
what's going on with you two?
Clearance. And the reason that what kept me at Clearance is that Linda didn't have a bad time. She
This was an ode to your wife, eh?
Yeah.
The fact that she wasn't disappointed that she, used up, that's how she used up her 22 minutes. I felt like, okay, you know what? We'll keep it at a Clearance. But again, in our Letterkenny world, comparing it to the gold, just the pure gold we've been getting lately, for me, this is a Clearance. And sorry, back to you.
Yeah, and before you hand it up, I feel like we're about to lose a listener because Josh is looking really upset with us. As Victor and I are talking.
Josh came on for the freaking unicorn, people. Way to go.
Yeah, sorry.
I'll send you over my onesie. You guys need to wear it tomorrow and post a pic.
All right.
That's a photo op right there.
Yeah. Josh, what do you give this episode?
Okay, so I see where Matt and Victor are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
However, I laughed almost nonstop through this episode.
I agree with you.
So for that reason, of course, I also have the advantage of I've seen all the way up through season 9, so I know where it goes. So based on that, I have to give this one a fresh only because I laughed so hard during this episode.
Yeah,
I can respect
I had people
that.
coming over. I was watching it during lunch today with my headphones on at work. And I had people walking by looking at me trying to figure out what I was laughing at. Because I didn't realize I was laughing that loud.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I had headphones in.
Hopefully no one was looking over his shoulder at the hot tub scenes going, what are you watching at work?
Yeah, really? I was on my lunch break. But I mean, it's just from the reactions of the characters. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot yet out of McMurrays. I mean, you've seen, one of them at a time, but never really the two of them together in a situation like this.
Yeah.
And I do agree, though, as far as the development with the skids and the hockey players, the skids especially, they didn't really, I don't see where they really build anything with them.
All right. I was stretching with the skids, but I'm not with the hockey players. And I thought there was actual development with the hockey players. There
was a little bit there. They were kind of saying, yeah, should we do it? Shouldn't we do it? But, whatever. Pastor Glenn in this one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, him alone.
Yeah.
With his interactions with Gail, and the fact that it took Squirrely Dan so long to figure out what the lifestyle is. I mean, that joke alone for me, the whole time they're sitting there going, the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And he just has this dumb look on his face, like, yeah, dairy farmers. It just, I just laughed almost the whole time. Even I was watching it here the last time I watched it was about an hour before the recording started here, and my wife was still in the room here. She was laughing at parts of it, and she doesn't like the show. So again, like Victor, that's enough to push me over the edge. But I would have gone maybe Clearance, but the fact that I laughed so hard during this whole episode, I don't have any other choice. I have to give it a fresh.
Well, Joshua, I mean, you're right. So well done there.
Let's see what the scientific Twitter poll says.
Well done there. So let's go on to favorite episodes, top 5s. I'll start with Tanya. Does this break your top 5? You have relationships, fuss at a golf
course. If it
course.
helps, it is better than Fart Book.
Way better.
I'm going to watch Fart Book again. No, I'm going to keep everything that I have on there right now because I really like those ones.
Okay. It doesn't make my top 5 either. It's a top 10 episode, but for now, but it doesn't make my top 5. My top 5 is all like really, really strong episodes. But so I'll leave it as is. Victor, I mean, should I even ask?
No, it's a Clearance. So
yeah, and Matt.
Hard no.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Joshua, you don't have to rhyme off top 5, but if you want to give us a taste of what some of your favorite episodes are, feel free.
Well, a lot of mine are from seasons that haven't come up yet.
Okay.
So
that's encouraging.
Yeah.
I know, Al, we've talked on the Discord about some of the ones that I find are some of the better episodes too. So,
yeah. So this one probably wouldn't crack your top 5 then.
No, but I think it would probably be top 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Cool. All right.
But okay.
Let's see here. What do we got? No Twitter comments this week, but so I guess we just go on to final thoughts. Tanya.
I forgot mine.
Check your notepad.
I can't remember. I was going to say something, but now I can't remember.
Have some more wine. It'll come to you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Come back to me. I'll let you know if I remember.
All right. I'll come back to you. Final thoughts. This has been fun, having Joshua on tonight. And again, join us on the Discord later. And we can continue the discussion there. This week's been fun just seeing the reaction to the K. Trevor Wilson interview. That's been great, and seeing how many new followers and listeners we're having there. And like I said, I'm working diligently on getting some more cast members, so stay tuned for news on that. Victor, do you have any final comments?
No, not much about the episode or anything like that, but just good vibes, good feelings. We're kind of starting to get spoiled here. We've had Eliza, then we have K. Trev, now we've got Joshua, and just more things kind of lined up. And this is it started as a fun little pet project. It still is, I guess. But look at all this kind of fun stuff that's happening. Where in lockdown, right? We're just having a fun little show here, but we're impacting lives in small ways, and I think that's really, really cool.
Oh yeah, that does remind me. Jacob Tierney did a what are they called? AMA, Ask Me Anything, on Reddit, and so that was pretty interesting read. I did ask him a question. Well, I didn't ask him a question. I offered him a comment, and I thanked him for putting on such a great show. But I did ask him, if he wanted to come on the podcast, we'd be more than happy to have him on. I feel like he's not the podcast kind of guy, but who knows? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So if anyone's interested in reading some interesting questions and answers from Jacob Tierney, one of the co-creators of the show, go to the Letterkenny Reddit and check that out. It's a pretty good read. Matt?
Yeah, I always continue to echo things like what Victor said. This continues to be a blast, something I look forward to every week. I love having guests on like Josh. I'm so thankful you're able to come and join us in your support for the show. It is still kind of surreal that people are actually listening to us. But I love it. it's so much fun. It's a blast of a show. I know we have this rating system, but in the end, we love the show. It's really just it's differentiating the ones we love the most to not quite love as much is really what we're going at, and it's so much fun. And actually, I think I was listening back to the K. Trevor Wilson interview this morning. I was driving somewhere, and it was so fun. And man, he talked.
Yeah.
But and it's so we've talked about this offline, but if you guys haven't listened to it yet, anyone who's listening, he just gave us such gold and gave us some really amazing stories around just some of the experiences he's had, before Letterkenny, during Letterkenny. And it's so fun to hear how people kind of get where they are and where, how they become what they are. And it's so much fun. Like even real references to, during his audition, him playing with the S's and how he speaks. And that obviously became Squirrely Dan. It's just so much fun. So I really hope we get more opportunities like that. I hope that was received well, and it opens up more opportunities to bring more guests on, both from our listeners and from the cast and anyone involved in the show, because we just want to talk to you guys, everyone. It's such a fun community, and I love being a part of it now. And yeah,
Joshua, you are a patron, so you got to listen to the interview early. What did you think of it? Was there anything from the interview that stood out to you?
Yeah, I thought it was a good interview, and I got to say, it honestly tied into the next podcast very well.
Yeah.
I don't know how you manage that one, but if you can do that every time, you'd be doing great.
Yeah, we planned it that way. Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed that one. I actually listened to it right after it was live there. So
yeah. Any final comments from you then?
No, just really enjoy it. I can tell how much fun you guys have by listening, and it's a lot of fun to listen to.
All right, thank you. And Tanya, we're circling back to you now.
Oh, I remembered what I had thought of.
That's a good thing.
That'd be good.
I was just remembering back to Squirrely Dan in the hot tub and his not getting what was going on in the room, and a similar situation that I was in when a friend was coming out and them telling me that he was playing on the same baseball team now. And anyways, there was a lot of circling talk and no one was coming out with what was going on. And I was the odd man in the room. Anyways, I thought it was very, very funny what Squirrely Dan had done. Anyways, it was good.
All right. So we're going to play us off here.
Hold on. Before I raised my hand, I tried to do it right. You ignored me.
Oh, I see the little hand.
I saw it.
I just found it. I just want to call out something that just happened here for everyone listening. What we refer to as preferable treatment. A few weeks ago, maybe last season, I tried to get a hard pass because I had to get my thoughts together, and I got a hard no.
No, I had already given.
This is exactly what happened.
No, that was you had to give whether it was a clearance, compost, blah, blah, blah.
That was a rating. That was a rating. She'd done that. She's done her ratings.
You guys are walking a fine line.
That's my that's my ruling, and I am the law. So
actually, since Matt is talking, remind me of another kind of thing.
This is the show that never ends.
This is back to my whole quantum physics and shaping your own reality.
Mm-hmm.
So, Josh, you shared the coincidence and perfect timing of the interview with the next show. With Matt kind of coming out about his trigger word, which is uncomfortable, and then this episode airs, which has totally made him uncomfortable. I thought that was brilliant as well.
Yeah,
so that was a fun connection.
Good call.
There you go. Timing is everything. All right, I'm going to play us off with a song from this episode. It's called "White Gospel Blues" from the band Black Strobe. Joshua, thank you again so much for joining us tonight. I hope you had a good time, and maybe we'll do this again one day.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
All right, and that's all we have for this episode. Next week we review episode 6 of season 4. Great day for Thunder Bay. If you'd like to support the podcast, rate us on iTunes or become a patron. There's a Patreon link on our website or Twitter profile @ProduceStandPod. Thank you for joining us. We're now going to pull the Letterkenny Leave, but before we do, we're going to play a game of Never Have I Ever. On behalf of Joshua, Matt, Victor, Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.